Hello, Noofs. We have another series from IEM Katowice here. This one is a PvZ, thank God. Ben, which round is this from before I introduce the players?
This is from the round of 16 in the round of 76 bracket.
Oh, I see. Awesome. In the top right, it is the Zerg hailing from Finland. His name is Serral, and he's playing against the Romanian Protoss. I just learned where he's from. He's blue. His name is NightEnD, and apparently one hotkey, one hotkey, didn't work, but it's all set now.
Very good.
So that's good. That's one advantage of the old replay system.
We see NightEnD sending a probe across the map. Sees the rocks are here.
Yes. Ben wanted me to introduce just the rock at the beginning of this video, but for all of your sakes, I decided against it.
There's a lot of rocks on this map.
There are a lot of rocks on this map. Very
like
rocky.
8 of them.
8 of them total? Did you just count that?
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. There are 8 rocks.
Uh-huh.
But Ben, after the Neon Violet Square incident, I don't feel comfortable doing math in a recorded setting.
Well, really what that should teach you is that we need to do more math to make sure we get it right in the future.
Yeah.
And make up for when we got it wrong.
Okay, that's fair. Maybe that's fair. Anyways, back to the actual game. Looks like things are pretty regular here. You've got the gateway finish
Working in that Nexus. Wouldn't it be
Working in
really
that
nice if the
Nexus.
Protoss on Ire would just stop being cheap and pay for the things that
I
you're
know.
warping in?
I agree. Well, the Protoss are all about pulling yourself up by your own bootstraps.
Yeah.
It's very weird, kind of 1980s-ish rhetoric that they're really into.
Maybe the Protoss just got stuck in the 80s then.
Yeah, maybe. They do kind of look like what people would have thought was futuristic in the 80s.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, the Protoss were originally designed in probably, I guess maybe the early 90s, or the 80s, who knows?
Yeah,
Probably
no,
the
that's,
early
that's
90s, given that it came out in 96. Yeah. I doubt they were working on Starcraft for 7 years before launch.
Yeah, have you seen the graphics on that game? There's no way that they agonized over that game for 7 years. Never occurred to them that you should be able to hotkey more than 12 units at a time. Unsurprisingly, we've got the Stargate from NightEnD. The only real flexibility in PvZ builds is this point is whether you go Phoenix and then Oracle, or Oracle and then Phoenix.
Or if you really want to switch it up, Void Ray.
Yeah, yeah, or Fleet Beacon, and then not carriers, but instead just walk a mothership across the map with nothing cloaked under it.
How
and see if you
used to
can
do
bait
that?
them.
So you used to be able to recall units to a mothership. Can you actually? I think you might be able to do that now. Still, I think they put that back in.
I'm honestly not sure if you can or not.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can recall to one. But you also used to be able to do that back in the old mothership that had Vortex and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And Huck, I remember once in some, what was it, MLG or something? Game on Steps of War, I believe it was. Built a mothership, ran it across, and then used that to recall a bunch of units into his opponent's base.
That's beautiful. That's like the dumb cheese now where you make a bunch of zealots at your main and then put a nexus in their main.
Yeah.
And then you recall the zealots and probes into their main and just fight.
Although it's marginally easier to run a mothership into their base than to build a nexus in it.
That's true. Speaking of weird cheese, I think that probably the world lost something when we lost that cheese where you build a nexus in their main and then walk a mothership core all the way over to it and just make a nexus cannon.
Yeah.
I remember when they announced
really just a rip-off cheese of building a command center in your opponent's main and then turning it into a planetary fortress.
Yeah, that's true.
And the planetary fortress is way better too. You don't have to like use the mothership core to photon overcharge it, and it's permanent, and it has AOE and everything.
Yep.
I don't know why people don't just build planetaries in their main to start with. It would be so much safer.
Yeah, I think that probably once players improve, they'll all start making that adaptation.
Speaking of cheeses, we see a very fast evolution chamber here, and also a baneling nest. So this could potentially, actually, it looks maybe more like an upgrade at this point, but maybe we'll see some drops because there is Overlord speed, and so
yeah,
there would be the option to like drop queens or something.
It's tough with the Phoenix on the map though because that Phoenix won't be wandering across the map all that much. It'll kind of just be patrolling the main as it's doing now.
Well, you don't need to keep the Overlord alive for very long, just long enough to get the queens over the wall.
I guess that's true. NightEnD, for his part, just canceled a Zealot for some reason. But he is macroing up as you would expect someone to do. He's getting a third pretty quickly, which is always nice to see because we might actually get a pretty long PvZ. We just casted that ZVZ.
Yes.
That wackiness. Oh, I like this hit squad. This is the same thing that we saw in the
that Oracle's
not SOS.
gonna die, actually. Oh, actually, is he gonna lose both Oracles?
Oh no! Please. Oh.
Wow. Okay.
How much health does I have?
One.
1 hit point.
Yep. Very close.
Absolutely calculated. No question that that's not calculated.
Not. Unfortunately, we don't have the overlay. So this is for people watching. We don't the overlay that tells us how many workers died and also what things are building and such is only there, we believe, in games that had an observer recording it.
Yes.
And so not all games had that. Some of the games, especially in the early stages, were just the players playing against each other. And in those cases, we don't have the extra information. It's a little harder to figure out workers. But what we can notice is that NightEnD is up 60 workers to 52, which is not something that you really should be seeing right now in a ZVP. But instead, Serral has chosen to make a bunch of +1 attack Zerglings and is going to have to do a bunch of damage with them. And this could be pretty scary for NightEnD.
This could be scary for NightEnD. It's really important that he basically just buy time before he gets... Oh my gosh. So the army that Serral is building right now is really, really good against Immortals, because Immortals are just totally useless against Lanes. That's scouted out. That's nice. So it's going to delay things for a while. He'll be able to get Storm up before anything comes, and he should be able to hold this pretty comfortably.
Yeah, this is a really fast Storm, and that's, I think, going to be good against the big Hydroling Baneling style that we're going to see from Serral as the +2 melee starts. And that could be really scary. Especially, I would love to see some Baneling drops from Serral. He already has Overload speed. He's got the Evo Chamber. And with that +2 melee, you can do so much damage to mineral lines. And that's a really fun way to see Zergs take this matchup.
Yeah, you can also, a quick note, you can tell that NightEnD is nervous about something because he hasn't built a Warp Prism yet or a Forge. So he is basically just, oh my gosh, he's going to lose that Oracle, isn't he?
Oh,
yeah. So, real quick, that Oracle is bad because it means that he's basically blind on the map now. I think he has an Observer. I think he made an Observer first in the Robo.
Okay, the Revelation wears off, so now he doesn't know at all. He's going to have these Storms, which is great, but he's building a lot of Immortals. And I wonder if that's maybe not the best usage of resources at this point, because it's just going to be a massive amount of Hydroling Baneling. There's no sign of Lurkers or of Roaches. And in the current matchup, actually, Roaches are quite common. And if there are Roaches, obviously the Immortals are great. But against just massive Hydroling Baneling, I'm not sure they're really going to pull their weight for how much those Immortals cost.
Yeah, the good thing for him is that he's gonna have like 20 Storms ready. he's just been warping. And can you check how many High Templars are actually on the map?
8 High
He's
Templar.
got 8.
Look at that.
8 High Temp. His army is
50% High Templar.
He's got Immortal. He's got math on stream again, but it looks like 7 Immortals, 8 High Templar, 1 Adept, and 1 Zealot. This is cool. This is just a super high tech army.
And now that High Templar have an auto attack, you don't really need other units at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, absolutely astute. Wow, he's getting a 5th already? So, Serral... 4th. Wow, I'm bad at counting. Okay, good. That would be a crazy greedy and unnecessary 5th. This one, by the way, is going to get canceled.
Okay.
Oh, but Banelings are tough to deal with just Storms because at a certain point you run out of them, and also they can do things like that and flank, and when you're out on the map, there's so much surface area for the Zerg to attack. Tons of Hydras. Again, the Immortals just get chewed up by the Lings, and
GG.
NightEnD GG. Serral takes game number 1 just like that. That was almost instant.
Yeah, that was just that army. Very strong army, but very positionally dependent.
Yep.
As let's quickly head on to game 2.
So as we load on to game number 2, Serral having taken the first one, I think probably that last game ended so quickly because NightEnD, as you were saying, had a really positionally dependent army, and so you can get caught out really quickly if you don't have any force fields. He also ended up using like Storms on 2 or 3 Banelings at a time.
Yeah.
Which
I mean, he had so many Storms at that point,
Yeah.
You don't want. He probably still had Storms when he lost the game.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Well, I guess he had to turn them all into Archons, but
yeah,
he had so many Storms. It probably would have been better for him to just make more Archons and less Templar. Well, The Templar obviously are good, but more Archons and less Immortals probably would be helpful. Because the Archons are obviously quite good against Ling Baneling, which is what Serral's army was mainly made of.
Yep, I think that's true. Taking that fourth made it tough because he had to kind of walk his army down there. And then
also taking the gold base as Protoss. I think that map is also really awkward for a fourth. Why I also don't play that map. But there's more options in the center or towards the north that I think would be a bit easier to defend, especially when you have an army such as his, which is not good at moving around on the map. And the way he moved allowed Serral to, Serral was being smart about it and knew that when the army had to come to defend the gold, it would open it up to a flank coming in from the middle. And obviously Serral, being a very good player, was able to take advantage of that. But NightEnD really should have been able to see that coming, instead of just getting totally caught out with the flank.
Once he lost the Oracle, he was totally blind, and so he
that's a good point.
He ends up ferrying his army across the map, not having no idea where anything is.
You think he should have just made another Oracle at that point?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you do usually see sentries not just to make your army less positionally dependent, but so that you can make some panic hallucinations if you really need to figure out what's happening. I'm bad enough that I will remake an Oracle, but I'm not sure that it would fly in a pro game as much. Anyways, both players once again doing pretty normal stuff. We'll see the Stargate from NightEnD probably around 28 or 29 supply. We will see the expansion from Serral in a second as he walks that drone over to the third. Those are Lings. Never mind. I should have just checked the mineral count.
There it is.
Yeah, there it goes.
You ever wonder why a stalker standing right here can't see this Overlord?
Balance. Is it? It's. I think it's really interesting that map makers kind of de facto balance the game in a kind of passive way where they don't change the actual units, but they do little things like that where they make
these didn't used to be the case. We didn't always have these Overlord spots, and we still don't have them on every map, but it's become very common to see a little Overlord spot by the natural. And it does certainly help Zerg get a much better idea of what's going on and what they need to react to. But at the same time, it does kind of make it hard there's not really that much counterplay until you can get out some air units. But at the same time, we see the meta has evolved really, where you see, obviously, in the Stargate opening, you pretty often, or pretty much always, get the fast Phoenix from Protoss to clear out the Overlords. And Terrans now very, very frequently get a fast Viking. And that allows them to clear out the Overlords too. And you can get a lot of Overlords with Viking. You sometimes see the Viking getting 3 or up to like 5 Overlords flying around the map, which is really, really huge. It's a lot of larva and money.
Yeah, it's a cool thing because that Overlord spot makes it more likely for Protosses to build Phoenixes, and then suddenly Protosses have Phoenixes. What do you do with the Phoenix? Well, you run over it, you build a second Oracle, like he's doing now, and then you run over and you pick up a Queen, and suddenly you've got a completely different dimension in the game, in part because the map maker added that little spot for the Overlord. Overlord, by the way, I think he's going to receive that Stargate, so he should know what's happening.
It'll be hard to clean that Nexus off. Let's see, where are those Oracles off to? Oh, wait. Oh, did he go Phoenix? No. Wasn't there an Oracle already?
I think he might have canceled it. There wasn't. This is the first Oracle.
This Oracle still has 0 kills, by the way. So, not getting in any damage. Serral being very prepared. He had a Queen over here when Oracle first flew in. And now does a lot of damage and forces the Oracle back across the map. And we do see, NightEnD rather, is going to be going for the fast third again. It does look like he likes to take these games with Serral into the more macro phase. Although you would wonder if after last game, he would maybe want to do more of a 2-base all-in style after how hard he got shut down with that big fancy army he was trying to build. But maybe this game he'll go for at least a different style of army, because I don't think that pure Immortal High Templar is really the way to go right now.
Sure, but I would also guess that he's pretty confident in it if he's going to go for something along those lines. He's building the second Robo again, so he's going to start pumping Immortals kind of blind again.
I'd like to see like a Robo Bay or something. I think if you want to go for the Robo units, I think that might fare a little bit better.
He didn't have a Warp Prism on the map at all, which made it tough, because then once you lose the Oracle, you've got absolutely nothing on the map at all, and the Zerg controls, I don't know, 90% of the map at once. Wow, going straight for the queen with these two oracles.
Well, that
He's gonna
oracle-
get it, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, and he'll save this oracle pretty comfortably. That's much nicer than it went last time. Oh my gosh! Meanwhile, there are all these lings running through. So he does have a wall with the zealot, but NightEnD does not have the army to defend this. He's warping in 2 zealots now. Zealot legs is not even close to finishing. This is a pretty nice engagement for NightEnD, but there's just so many links here. He's gonna have to turn on the oracles to save it. That was not a fight. Who do you think won that one?
Yeah, well, I think there were about 5 or 6 probes that went down from the beginning, and factoring that in, I think that definitely is good for Serral. Actually, this is going to be a fast, we didn't mention this, but it's going to be a fast Hydra ling all-in. This is the sort of thing that used to be popular, but became less popular after the Hydra upgrade split up. But we're seeing that Serral decides to forego the range. Oh, actually getting a bunch of probes here. It's really good, and these Hydras are now going to come in, and there's a big surround here.
Yeah, and again, you see the Immortal not being that helpful because it's just targeting lings. Both the oracles go down. GG from NightEnD. Wow, Serral just took that series really confidently, kind of turning on the jets once NightEnD tried to take the third.
Yeah, Serral leaving little doubt there that he's the superior player. Just totally shuts down NightEnD with good engagements with Hydra Ling styles, both games. And, yeah.
And ends up taking the series 2-0. So thank you guys for watching. Like if you liked the video. Subscribe if you subscribed to the video. There's another video or two up on the screen for you to click on if you'd like to keep watching. Thank you very much and have a good day.